dua itu penyelam yang orang barat bule
yang terhormat, dan saya banggakan juga Pak Ferry Numeri, Ketua POSI, yang terhormat perwakilan dari berbagai kementerian, Parekraf, KKP, Kehutanan, KLH, dan juga dari Angkatan Laut, Pak Didin, Ketua GIPI, dan Gawistri, ya, benar ya Pak? Pokoknya gabungan asosiasi wisata bahari, ya. Dan tentunya para asosiasi yang lain, para penyelenggara dari exhibition ini, para exhibitor, bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu yang kami hormati, selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Kami tadi diminta untuk menggunakan bahasa Inggris, jadi kami akan sekarang beralih ke bahasa Inggris. Distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure for me to be here with you this morning to open the 6th deep dive and 4th extreme adventure exhibition which we are about to see today. I guess I'm here today as the Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy because obviously diving and adventure tourism are important components of tourism. But I think I'm also here, as Pak Darmawan was mentioning, pelanggan setia dari deep dive exhibition. I think before I became the Minister of Tourism, I have been at least twice to your deep dive exhibition because my son is a diver. So I can appreciate that. I can see the exhibition has much improved, and I'm happy that you have adopted the theme "Family Go Adventure," because actually the best holidays we have had as a family is when we are going diving or when we are going trekking or doing something which is in the nature. It really is a very good way for the family to get together, and I think to teach our children to appreciate nature and to protect and conserve nature. To finish my story about my son started to be very interested in anything to do with marine from a very young age. I don't know why, but it just happened that way. And so from very young, he would buy all the books on fish. He would know all the fish species. And when we go anywhere, any city in any country, the first thing we must do is to visit the aquarium because he is so interested in fish. And then he said he wanted to learn diving. He started diving at the age of 11. And he's now already advanced diver. He really wants to learn rescue diving, but he hasn't had the time. But he's a very keen diver. He's now 18 years old. And his choice of subject to study in university is marine environment science. So I'm very happy with his choice of subject. And you can link it to the time when he was young and how he, as a tourist and as interested in diving, and then that led to the career choice. And he's very much interested in conservation and preservation, especially in the marine area. So I think what we are doing today with the exhibition and promoting hopefully responsible and sustainable tourism in the marine area as well as in the adventure area is both going to achieve the economic benefit as well as the conservation and preservation benefit. So I think if you look at the objective of tourism, which is in many cases trying to develop certain regions, certain areas for the economic benefit, because it creates jobs, it creates a multiplier effect with all the community related in that location. You also want to have responsible and sustainable tourism. That is actually our vision as a tourism ministry. How do you develop sustainable and responsible tourism? And we cannot do it alone. That is why the other ministries, such as the Marine Affairs Ministry, as well as Environment, Forestry, are very important partners in ensuring that we have responsible and sustainable tourism. And of course, all of you, stakeholders, and the industry which are involved in marine tourism, how can we achieve the economic benefits, the commercial benefits, but not ruin the environment? Because actually you are ruining the actual source of economic benefit that is your sector. So I think we need to do more effort together in a coordinated way between the government, the local government, the industry, and most importantly, the community in the location to ensure that we can achieve economic benefit, but also do it in a sustainable and responsible way. I think tourism, encouraging adventure and marine tourism, is a very important way to increase the appreciation, interest, and commitment by all levels. I mean, the example of my son, of someone who started at a very young age to appreciate the biodiversity and beauty of Indonesia, and that led to a certain way of looking at how we should develop it in a sustainable way. I think it's a good example of how if we can have such exhibitions to show the very rich biodiversity, marine biodiversity and natural biodiversity of Indonesia, both as a source of our advantage, but also as a destination for tourism, is very important. But at the same time, how do we increase the awareness and commitment by all of us to coordinate between all of us to develop all these locations in a sustainable way? And when I say sustainable way, we always mean we have to involve the community in that location, as well as the environmental sustainability. And this is very much part of the government approach, how we can coordinate cross-sectoral as well as cross-stakeholder to ensure that the growth in these locations, and a lot of these locations are the lesser developed regions, it's the outer islands, it's the remote areas. How can we increase growth and development? This includes the fishermen community. It includes very remote areas with very remote villages, which can actually benefit a lot from the development of tourism in that area. And how we can have, part of the problem is also accessibility, getting to these places, whether it's an infrastructure issue or a transportation issue, how we can, as a government, develop better accessibility in terms of infrastructure and transportation. And oftentimes, you need to use all kinds of transportation to get to these places. Land, air, water transportation to get to these places. And actually that's part of the adventure of being a tourist in accessing some of these places. And I do hope that all of you in the private sector, and I would also hope for the role of GIPI and also associations related to adventure tourism and marine tourism, your role is very important because you're there on the field developing these areas. How do you do it in a sustainable way? How do you develop these tourism locations, but at the same time preserve and conserve the biodiversity in these areas? Because that is actually the main attraction for tourists to come to these locations, is the rich biodiversity. So how do we preserve that value? And how do we encourage the community who are in these areas that it is better to protect and conserve the source of your income rather than destroy it? You know, how do we prevent the rare species of fish or corals to be exploited in a sustainable way, not to be rapidly exploited and destroy the very source of your economic benefit? How do we encourage sustainable way of fishing, not using explosives, not leading to excessive fishing, and so on? because you are getting additional source of income and so on. I think there's a very important link between tourism and making sure the community, the local community in that area understands the value that it can bring from preservation and conservation rather than exploiting. So I think exhibitions such as what we are going to see today hopefully will increase the appreciation and interest, and at the same time, again, how do we achieve those two objectives of developing the tourism area but at the same time preserving and conserving it. That's going to be a big challenge for us, all of us, in the years ahead. But I very much see the value of promoting Indonesia as a location for marine tourism and adventure tourism because of our rich biodiversity and natural beauty. In the ranking of the World Economic Forum Competitiveness Index, we are ranked number 17 out of 139 countries for natural beauty. And that's what we have to preserve and make it attractive for tourism, but not lose sight of the importance of conservation. Definitely tourism is a sector which, in the midst of crisis, is still a sector which continues to grow. Probably because despite whatever, people will still travel, will still seek leisure. Maybe if you are, the more stressed you are, the more you need to go out and take time off and have some time for leisure. So tourism is still growing at a positive rate, both globally as well as in Indonesia, despite the slowdown in the world economy. And increasingly, tourism is about the experience. So people will look for experience, will stay longer, will look for adventure, will look for exotic places and unique places to visit. And certainly marine and adventure comes into that area. And it can be linked to other types of tourism, such as cruise tourism, yacht tourism, which is also what we are promoting. I looked at some of the cruise tourism. Some of them are very specifically adventure oriented. So there are a lot of links that we can develop going ahead. And I appreciated Pak Freddy's point also about increasing the competency standards of the diving instructors, the diving equipment. These are all very important parts of developing a sustainable marine tourism industry. We want to make sure the safety aspect and the international standards are met. And we hope that this will be, as an industry, as the association, we can pursue together. We as the ministry, we are also developing the standards of competency. This is very important. We must be seen as a country which practices international standards and adheres to it. If we are going to attract the numbers and the quality of marine and adventure tourism that we wish to attract. So that's the main messages that I wish to convey to all of you. I'd like to congratulate the organizers. I can see, I think the last time I came for your exhibition was about 2 or 3 years ago. I can see probably at least 100% improvement, both in the display as well as in the participation. So I'm actually dying to go out there. And I've also made a decision. Maybe I will regret this decision, but I've decided that since now I have to go and we have this beautiful country and we are promoting marine tourism, I have to relearn diving. So I was a qualified PADI diver maybe some 25 years ago, and I need to get back my courage and adventure spirit to relearn. And I'm not sure I'll ever be as competent as Miss Scuba, but how can I go and promote marine tourism if I don't know what I'm promoting? So that's my commitment. So I'm going to go out there and look for new equipment and maybe find out who's can give me lessons on recertifying myself as a diver. I'm not sure about the other types of adventures such as hiking and trekking, but at least start with diving. So congratulations for the organizers, and let's hope that we are seeing the another new beginning for more interest, more appreciation, and hopefully commitment that goes with it for marine tourism and adventure tourism. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih Ibu.